Howdy everyone, this is Tricia and welcome to my channel. Look at that, look at that, look at that. Isn't that cute? Isn't that cute? I wish I had videotaped in there. Hello everyone, today I want to be doing a mesh wreath and I want to do this in a flower form that I have seen many videos doing this, so I want to try it out for myself and I want to do this for Mother's Day. Now the mesh that is being used in a lot of these videos are just a regular mesh that you find at craft stores. Now we all know that at Dollar Tree they also sell little rolls of mesh, and of course they have a little bit less quantity inside of them. They're also not as wide, so I wanted to try out using the Dollar Tree rolls of mesh rather than the ones that you find like at Hobby Lobby or Michael's, etc. So that is what I'm going to be using as my supplies. So let me show you what the rest of my supplies are going to be. All right, so here are the supplies that I've collected. I've collected this 14-inch wire form, which I got from the Dollar Tree. You can find these in other craft stores, but you know, just to save some money, they are at the Dollar Tree. And of course, like I mentioned before, I've got all my mesh from the Dollar Tree. This is a 6-inch by 5 yards. So it's got a good amount in there, but I wasn't sure exactly how many I was gonna need. So I grabbed a whole bunch of purple, I grabbed some green, and I grabbed some white. And I wanted some yellow, but I couldn't find any at the dollar store at this time. I don't know if they even have it in yellow or even in a pink or some other color, or orange even, if that would have been good for the center of my flowers. So I did go to Hobby Lobby and I got myself the basic mesh ribbon. Here it is. This has, let's see, it's a 10-inch roll and it's got 30 feet. So it's got 10 yards. So as you can see, it's got double the amount of this, but this cost me $8 and this was only $1. So if I'd have found Dollar Tree, that would have been better. Now I've seen them use this one because it's a 10-inch, so they cut 10 by 10-inch squares. So I'm going to do 6 by 10-inch with these, and I'll show you how I fold that instead of the way that I saw it done, and just on a different opposite way. Okay, also we're going to need one of these little plastic mesh, what are these called? It's just a canvas, a plastic canvas. Is what it is, and it's got all these little holes in it. You normally use it to do some like yarn work into it, but we're going to use one of these. This is only 69 cents. I found this at Hobby Lobby. You can find this, I think, at Walmart, and you can find them at Michael's as well, or any other craft store really. And then I found some chenille stems. They normally have chenille stems at the Dollar Tree. I didn't find any during my visit, so I went ahead and I grabbed them from Hobby Lobby, and I grabbed this 50 pack. And now that I think about it, I should have gotten the 100 pack because I really don't know how many chenille stems I'm going to be needing. I don't need the complete length. I feel like I only need half. Maybe I'll cut them into thirds. I'm not really sure. I do have some extras here that I've had from other times that I've purchased. So I'm going to try cutting it in thirds and see if that's enough. If I don't have enough, I'll just use some of my floral wire, which is no big deal. But chenille stems are so convenient to use, so you can go ahead and grab yourself some of those. And this is basically the supplies that I'll need. As far as tools, I'm going to be using a rotary cutter because I'm going to be cutting on my cutting mat. Otherwise, you could use some scissors, and you could use a straight edge ruler or yardstick to do your measuring. I'm also going to be using my glue gun and some glue stick, so make sure you have that plugged in and ready to go. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started on how to put these little petals together for this particular craft. All right, normally what I tell you to do is prepare all your product by cutting things open and just taking off wrappers and things like that. So I've gone ahead and I've taken off the tag, and I've gone ahead and I've taken off the wrapper off of one roll, but because this is a trial to see if this way, the way that I'm going to do it, works with this this Dollar Tree mesh. I'm not going to suggest that you cut everything ahead of time. Now at the end of the video, or towards the end, I'm going to count and see how much I needed to cut, how much I actually used, so then maybe then you can go ahead and prepare yourselves and prepare all your little things ahead of time before putting everything together. I like to prepare everything and have everything kind of like in a little production row and then just build it all at the end. But in this case, I'm just going to prepare and build as I go along. Okay, so I've got my mesh here, and I wanted to start off with some green on the edge because I want it to be like a leaf on the edge. I've seen this done in all one color and it looks beautiful. I've seen it done like combination of a color and the white, and I really wanted to do this like in a blue or turquoise because those are my favorite colors, but I couldn't find that at this time, so I did grab the purple, and I'm not a fan of purple, but it is still a pretty color, and I think this is going to be for my mom, and I think my mom will like it, so she can hang it wherever she likes. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start cutting some little squares because I want to do the leaves on the edge. Not squares, these are going to be rectangles, and they're 6" by 10, so I'm going to cut one just to kind of give you a little show of what I'm doing, and then I'm going to prepare a whole bunch more so that I can see how much I need to fill out the outer edge on this wire wreath here. So normally what they do with these pieces of mesh is you grab them from the corner, and then somewhere in the middle you just pinch it and just wrap it and then wire them on, and normally there'll be all these chenille stems all ready on here as well just to tie things on. I'm not going to do it that way. I'm going to do one thing at a time because I am learning as we go along. I have done these mesh wreaths before, and I've made a mess, but I still like the way they look in the end, so I'm cool with it. If you like doing them, then you can follow this tutorial or follow somebody else's. Anyway, there we go. That's my first one that I've just tied on there, and I am going to tie it on really well because I'm not planning on putting anything else there, and I'll get the little mesh or the chenille stems because they do have wire in them. I don't want them poking on my walls or on my door or anything, so I'll fold those up in a bit. But I want to make a whole bunch of these to fill in the outside. So I'm going to go ahead and fill on one of these and see where I'm satisfied, and then I'll multiply it by the spaces because, as you can see, this is divided. It's got little bits going across here. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spaces. So I'm going to see how many I need on the outer edge of this here, on this space right here that you're seeing right here between my two hands. I'm going to see how many of these I need to adequately fill it. We'll multiply by 6, and that's how many you're going to need for the outer edge. So I'm going to go ahead and start cutting these and put them on there, and I'll be back. All right, so I've managed to do 6, and I like 6 fitting into this little space. Since I have 6 spaces, I'm going to need 36 of these for the outer edge as my leaves. So I've already cut 6, so I need another 30. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut another 30 pieces. Again, this is a 6" wide, so it's 10 inches long, and I'm going to go ahead and fill that up, and then I will be back for my next step. All right, everyone, so I've gone ahead and I've cut the 36 pieces, and I should let you know that out of one roll of this Dollar Tree mesh, I got 16 pieces cut. So of course I had to cut into the second one, so that meant that I had 32 pieces. So of course now I've gone into my third roll to cut the extra 4 so that I could have 36 pieces. So just so you'll know, you'll need at least 3 rolls of mesh to do the outer. If you're going to do 36 pieces, if you want to do a little bit extra, whether you can just do the math, but this is what I have gotten out of 2 rolls plus a little bit, which is about, I cut 4 more out of here, so that was another 40 inches that I cut, so it was more than a yard that I cut off here. So you do need to get at least 3 rolls to get these outer leaves. Oh my goodness, I keep getting this caught into my blouse because of the embroidery threads on my top, so the edges keep grabbing onto me. And this is what it looks like so far. And yes, I've gone ahead and I've even bent the little edges of the chenille stems inward, kind of folded them in. There you go, so you can see it up close. Because I didn't want the little metal edges poking me, especially if I'm reaching behind or something. I don't want them scratching on me, which they've done already a few times. You don't have to do that. It's kind of extra work, but I've gone ahead and do it because I don't want the scratches. Anyway, now we're going to go ahead and start building inside of the wreath so we can fill it in with some petals. And I'm not going to cut them as big as I've seen them cut in some of the videos because a lot of the mesh gets wasted, and I feel like what I'm going to do is probably going to be the same problem anyway, but I'm going to go ahead and cut them smaller, and let's see how many I can fit. And I feel like I'm going to have to run to the Dollar Tree and see if I can find more mesh. If not, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to grab some mesh that I happen to have in one of my little buckets and fill it in with that, and then you can just know at least how much you need to build this flower. But here we go. I think it's going to look pretty either way, even if I add some other color. Okay, so I'm going to put this aside because I'm going to grab onto the other color that I want to work with, and that's the purple. And I already know that I needed 3 rolls for the outer, so I'm going to grab at least 2 for the next 2 rows, and then of course I have white for the very inner row. Now in one of the tutorials that I saw them doubling it up, but because I don't have enough mesh to do that, I'm going to do singles. So I'm just going to try and fill it up with as much as I can. So let's go ahead and get started by popping this guy open here. And as I said, I'm not going to cut it as big. So the most that I have is 6 inches wide here to work with. So I'm going to go ahead and just do 6 by 6 squares, and let's see how that works. I had a little piece here that I was working with, and I decided that that was a good size. I don't even know where I left my, here it is, my rotary cutter. I'm going to cut 6 inches. I started at 10, 6, and 16 is, well, it helps if the blade is out in order to cut. Okay, push it back in. Let's get these guys out of the way here. Okay, so now I've got this. So what you're going to do with this is basically fold it in half, like so. And here's your folded edge right here. And then right in the middle, fold down one end, one folded end to the center of the non-folded end, so that you have this little triangle, if you will. Okay, and then you're just going to smoosh it together. Keep pinching it from there so it doesn't let go. Smoosh it together and make sure that all the raw edge here is being grabbed so it doesn't pop out. And then of course grab your chenille stem, and I feel like I'm going to cut even smaller pieces. And then just tie it around nice and tight. And that's what you're going to have. And then what you can do is just cut off the little excess there so you're not wasting as much. Now if you're doing a 10 by 10, it's even better because you get a bigger petal than what I've got here. And of course you get a better coverage. So here we go. I'm going to put one of these little petals right here. And remember, I put 6 leaves on each of these on the outer. Okay, so now let's, hopefully less petals will fit. If not, we're going to need a lot more. So let's go ahead and see how many I'm going to need to fill in this little space. Multiply by 6, and that's how many petals we need for this second row inward, and we're probably going to need it for the second one too. And I don't think I have enough mesh, but I'm going to do this. Let's do it. All right, I'm going to go ahead and show you here where I'm cutting. Again, I'm doing a 6 by 6 pieces here, and I haven't counted to see how many I'm cutting. I'm just doing one roll right now because I want to see how many I can get now out of the now that I'm only cutting 6 rather than 10 inches. So I'm letting you watch as I do. I don't want to say something that I hadn't seen in a while, but I noticed a comment. Again, you talk too much, or too many words. Well, let me tell you something. Yes, and that's not going to stop, because that's just the way I am. That's my personality, you know. You like it or you don't. But let me tell you something. I've seen a few tutorials, and a lot of them are awesome. But then there's a few that don't give you much instruction, and you're just watching. And this is why I don't know exactly how many to cut, because I am not being told how many they ended up using, how many rolls of whatever they ended up using for any of this. So I have to end up pausing the video, and there I am counting on the picture that they have. 1, 2, oh yeah, it looks like they used 64 or something or another. And you know, you shouldn't have your viewers have to do that. So and if you have questions, I feel like I can kind of come up with a lot of them while I'm doing the video, and then I can go ahead and answer those. So I give you little tips here and there. And that also eliminates you having to like, oh, let me ask this question, and hopefully she will see my comment and answer my question. So I try to do that. So yes, I do talk a lot, and that's not going to change. Okay, let's see. I'm almost at the end. This last piece is kind of curly-ish, but I'm still going to, I don't know why they put so many staples on here. It just kind of messes up the whole mesh. Okay, this is already kind of folded in half for me, so I'm not even going to fold it. And it's sort of like 3 inches, a little bit more. So I'm gonna leave it like that because that makes a petal, and I'll go ahead and show you right now. So what you do is you would take your 6 inch and of course fold it in half, which this one's already folded in half. Bring down a folded end to the center. Then bring down the other folded end to the center. Make sure you're holding on to that little bit where the centers are meeting, or the two ends are meeting in the center. Pinch it. Put your chenille stem on it, nice and tight so it doesn't come apart. And then just trim off. Okay, you don't have to tighten it too much because you want some of this length to now tie onto the wire. Okay, so there we go. I've got one on there already, one of these that I've cut from the same roll. This is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. That's how many I got last time I was doing the 10 inch. So I got 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. So I almost had 30. So that's 58. So I'm going to go ahead and cut as much as I can out of the other rolls that I've got. And I'm going to go ahead and form my little petals, and then we're going to come back and I'm going to tell you how many go into each of these little spaces, or rather, again, how many went all the way around, and then how many I went into the second row. So, or probably even the third, all those rows, who knows? Hopefully I can do all four rows, but I'm probably going to do 2. So anyway, let me go ahead and cut all this up, and I will be back. All right, well, I wanted you to see what I've done so far. And what I've got here is I've actually put 9 in each of these little spaces. So 9 by 6 is 54. So that is what I'm putting here, these little petals. And I've used up 2 rolls of the, I think up 3 rolls of the purple. I'm not really even sure. No, I've used up 2 rolls, and then I've had these few left over, but I do have another roll that I have to cut. And then I've got a bag here full of pieces that I've already cut. So that's 4 rolls of the purple that I've cut all together. I feel like this next row is obviously going to have less in there because I don't think I'm going to have enough for 54 in the middle one. But so far, that's what I've got on this first row of purple. But actually, it's the second row, or the second ring on my wreath here, my metal wreath. It has 4 rings. So that's what I'm doing. But I do plan on putting in the middle here, and actually the inner ring, I do plan on putting all white. And then we'll do the yellow, and I'll show you what I'm actually going to be doing with that piece of canvas. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this up. So we have all 9 on this very last part. I'm just kind of lifting it up and twisting it from underneath. That's what I'm doing. And then what I do is these little ends. Here, let me twist it one more time. These little ends, I just kind of tuck them underneath, so it kind of makes the little petals kind of stand up, and it makes them all kind of evenly, you know, dispersed. It just kind of helps them stand up a little bit so they're not so flat up. So I'm going to go ahead and finish putting these on, and I'm going to go ahead and get started on that next row, and then I'm going to start cutting up my white so that I can do the inner ring, and then I'll let you know how much of everything I ended up cutting. All right, before I continue putting any more petals onto my little wreath, I'm going to go ahead and get this plastic mesh, this plastic canvas that I got here. And you can see that I've got some lines. I don't know if you can see them, some black lines, and I've marked the center. This is a 13.5 inch length, so I've gone 6 3/4 and just gone in with my Sharpie marker, just made little dots all the way down to the other end. And then the other side, when I turn it around, it is 10.5 inches. So I've gone 5 1/4 in, and then I've gone ahead and I've made another line going all the way across, and then I've just darkened the center here so I know where that middle part is. And then I can go ahead and take my wreath and kind of try and sort of center it along with this. And then what I want to do is I want to trace a circle, but I want to trace a circle that will be bigger than this inner ring. I don't want it to be anything smaller, and the edges pretty much are just a tad bigger, so I'm not going to cut anything off of that. I'm just sort of going to trace kind of loosely up here on the top, just so I know how much bigger I can go, and also on this other side, the same. That's all I've done. Okay, so there you can see where I have marked sort of a circle. And I keep getting these little mesh ends stuck on my blouse. So now all I have to do is just cut, and I'm just going to cut just a little bit bigger than what I've marked. And now I have that. This is where I'm going to put my middle, not the petals, but what is the center of a flower? I'm just going to put those yellow ones in. So I'm going to do the yellow mesh just the same as I've been doing these here, these purple, and I'm going to do the yellow the same. And those are going to go right in the middle, and I'm going to fill this in so that this goes into the center of my flower. Okay, let me go ahead and continue what I was doing, and then I'll be back so that I can show you how I'm going to do the yellow part. Okay, so I have completed the petal part of my flowers. I've got all my leaves here, and then I had 3 more rows to fill, and I filled it up with all these little petals. Now, it was 4 rings, if you recall. The first ring, of course, has all the leaves. The second row has 54 petals. The second or the third row has 48 petals, and then this fourth or inner ring has 42 petals. So basically what I used up was like 2.5 of green mesh, which is from the Dollar Tree. That if you're getting it from the Dollar Tree, that's how many I used. So get 3 rolls of that. The purple, I used almost 4 rolls, so you need 4 rolls. Or if you 4 rolls, or if you're going to do the whole thing in purple, then go ahead and get about 7 rolls, or actually 6 rolls of any one color if you want to do them all the same color. Okay, so that was 36 pieces out here, 54, 48, and 42. So I did 9 in each, because it was 6 sections, 9, and then I did 8, and then I did 7, if that helps. Okay. So now I'm going to go ahead and cut the pieces. Well, I've already cut some of the yellow. And in my yellow, I didn't find it from the Dollar Tree. I did get this from Hobby Lobby, and it's a 10-inch wide roll. The Hobby Lobby are only 6. And if you recall, the green, I cut them at 6 by 8, and then all the little petals were 6 by 6. Okay, so now the center of the flower, the center little petals, or whatever you want to call it, I'm using yellow, and I am cutting these 10 by 8 because it's a 10 width, so I can't help that. And I am cutting them at 8 inches long, and I don't even know how many I'm gonna cut, but anyway, I'm doing the same thing. Fold them over, and I'm real tired. This is taking me all day. You know what? I don't think I'm gonna be doing this again. Anyway, so I'm going to fold this over. I was even thinking, when I was saying at first that I was going to give this to my mom for Mother's Day, I thought, you know, the one that really likes purple is my mother-in-law, so I should be giving this to my mother-in-law. And I could just do another one in pink for my mom. But you know what? I don't think I want to do this project again. It is a lot. It is quite time consuming. So if you have the time, you go right ahead. But I'm telling you right now, this is time consuming. And it's not bad. It's very relaxing. But it took me all afternoon. Like I'm like in 4 hours now. And I did make dinner somewhere in the middle, but it was just nachos. It was nothing big. And it is a Sunday, so who cares? Anyway, in this case, because I need the chenille stems, I need them to be a little longer. I am cutting 6-inch pieces. I'm not cutting them into 4 or 3-inch pieces like I was for the little petals. These little pieces, see? Anyway, so there we go. I am just trimming that off because I don't need all that length on here. I probably cut a few more. I don't know at this point, but for now, I'm just going to leave that. And I've done quite a few just to get ahead of myself. And I'm going to take the ones with these shorter little bits here. And these are going to go right in the middle. And right where I make that little X there, I'm going to just pick 2 little holes and put this through. And then just pull it till this petal is kind of like standing upward. Like that. Okay? And then that's where you just go through the back and just twist it. Again, don't pull it real tight because we don't want the petals to just go flat like that, because then we're going to have this empty center. Okay, so now you get the next one. Again, I'm standing up my little chenille stems like that. And right next to the other one, actually I'm going to go opposite on the other side of the cross. Pick the 2 little squares opposite. You might do like, you know, every 4 little squares. It doesn't matter. You can separate it a little bit. It doesn't have to be 2 little squares right next to each other. But anyway, you put this one on there and then go ahead and twist those 2 pieces if you don't get them all mixed up with the other one. Anyway, just twist that so that they're both standing. So there you go. You've gotten your center started. And basically all you're going to do is you're just going to start filling in one on this side, one on this side, you know, facing inward. Here's your petal. Here's the little center where you folded them together. You want to put that facing in like that. So you're going to put one on this side and then one on this side, so they're all facing the center. And then just build your way around. Just keep adding these around until we get to a point where we've almost filled up to the edge, so that we can go ahead and put this in the middle of our wreath. So let me go ahead and fill this up with some more of these yellows, and then I'll tell you how many I ended up cutting at the end of this. All right, so what I have here is the yellow petals on this plastic mesh. I have 24. That's what I have put on here. I did the 4 center ones, which I have no idea where they are anymore. And then the rest of them are just placed around. And I try to be as even as I could. I wasn't really, after a while, you're just gonna get tired and you just put them wherever, but try to be as even as you can. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this in the center. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually feed it through the middle here. So all this little perking up that I just did, I'm just gonna squeeze them like that. And then just bring them through here. And then just try to center it as much as I can. And I can see right here that I do need more petals, but I'm gonna go ahead and attach the mesh, the plastic mesh, to my wreath now, instead of filling it some more and then putting it in, because now I can see how much more I need to fill. And this, I don't have to go over that amount, but I feel like I'm probably going to need maybe, let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, maybe another 20 of these. So I'm going to just go ahead and turn this around. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put hot glue here and let this attach down onto the wreath. And then all these little chenille stems that were coming out the back here, all I did was just kind of fold them down so the little tips aren't sticking up. Okay, so now I've had my hot glue here ready for hours now. So I'm just gonna make sure that I push all this other mesh, the leaves, you know, out of the way. And let's try to center this. There we go. Pour lots of glue so this gets glued onto here. I could actually also just put some chenilles through here and then grab it onto the wire, which I think would probably be something that you might want to do instead of what I'm doing, instead of hot gluing it. So I'm going to wait for this to glue down just a little bit, or dry just a little bit, and make sure it's attaching, because I think I'm going to try that instead, where I go ahead and get a couple of chenilles and bring them through the wire and through the mesh, and then just, you know, twist them back here. Yeah, grab on the wire here. That's what I'm going to do. Let's go ahead and do that now. I keep getting caught here. I'm going to do 4 inches. I think that'll be good enough. Let me pass it through the wire here and bring it upward. And then this is kind of drying to the fingers. I feel my fingers so dry. Okay, so I've now put it through one of the holes in the plastic mesh, and now I'm just twisting it to attach it. I'm going to do the same thing on this other side. Another 4 inches here. Bring it around through the ring, one of the wire rings, and then through one of the holes of the plastic mesh. Twist. Kind of like this best. Yeah, I do. And then just, you know, you would just do as many as you feel that you need to attach it. I feel like I need another one here and another one here, so that's what I'm going to do. If I can find the other ring. Oh, there it is, right there. That's actually the inner ring, which is nice. Bring it up. Tie it around. That works really, really well. I like that better than hot gluing it. I feel like the gluing is just making a big old mess. I don't want, you know, some of this glue is out here is all, you know, all over the place. You gotta wait for it to dry. Some of it that I kind of poured onto the mesh back here before I put the, you know, the mesh petals. Before I put it down, I feel like it could go through all the way, and I don't want that. And then get all messy in the front. So I think it's best to get some chenille stems and just tie it up as many places as you want so that it stays on there. There we go. Look at that. Oops. Again, this is getting caught on. Do not wear an embroidered top, or don't wear anything that has any sequins, or just wear a flat t-shirt when you do this work. Don't wear anything. Yeah, look, see, look, there's little drips of glue on this side, so I'm just pulling them off. Just making sure they're not anywhere else, and just making sure that my petals are not only spaced together, but also that they're not flattened and crushed down. This is what happened when I turned it over. So you just want to do that. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and create, like I said, I'm going to do about 20 more of these. I hope I have enough. And I'm going to fill in. What I'll do is I'll do 10, fill in, and then I'll see if I have enough to do another 10. But that's what I'm going to do, is I'm going to fill as much of this as I can so that I can make sure that this is being covered right here, all this white with this chenille stems, because right now it is not being covered. But if you can see where this is going, and it's looking really pretty. It's a lot of work, but it's looking pretty. Okay, so I'll be back with this filled in some more and hopefully done. All right, so my wreath is complete. I ended up cutting 48 total of these yellow for the center of my flower. I think it looks really pretty. I'm happy with it. I think it'll make a nice gift for Mother's Day. It doesn't matter who I give it to or who you decide to give this to, or give it to yourself for Mother's Day. Maybe make it in a different color. I do feel like it may be a little more of the yellow, but that I used it all up, so I don't have any more. I feel like a little bit more in there would be sufficient. If not, what I can do is I can stick some more white in there to fill it up a little bit more, because I feel like it needs a little more right in here. But that's it. So there you go. Again, 36 of the leaf, the purple, 54, 48, 42, and then 48 of the yellow. So there you go. There's that flower. So let me know what you think in the comments down below. So leave a nice comment down below. Give me a big old thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. And share on your social medias. You'll be seeing this hanging tomorrow morning because it's already nighttime. And I'll hang it on my door so that you can see what it looks like in the daylight. And that is it. And as always, enjoy.